Operation Sindoor: How to Survive a Nuclear Attack. Here's a factual and structured overview of the impact of a nuclear bomb blast and civilian protection considerations in a hypothetical military scenario involving a rogue state, Pakistan and India, in response to Operation Sindoor, launched by India's most popular Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, in response to Pakistan's decade-long proxy war against India through terrorism. Operation Sindoor refers to a high-intensity, preemptive or retaliatory strike launched by India targeting critical terror infrastructure across the border. The operation may be seen as a strategic move in response to persistent cross-border aggression or state-sponsored terrorism by Pakistan. Following the operation, Pakistan, classified as a rogue state due to irresponsible nuclear posturing and lack of credible command and control, may resort to tactical or strategic nuclear weapon threats as part of its asymmetric response doctrine. Understanding the threat: a nuclear bomb detonation causes immediate and long-term effects, including blast and shockwave destroys buildings and infrastructure within a radius of several kilometers. Thermal radiation causes severe burns and ignites fires over a wide area. Ionizing radiation leads to acute radiation sickness and long-term health issues like cancer. Electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, disrupts electronic devices and power grids. Fallout: radioactive particles spread by wind, contaminating air, water and soil. Given Pakistan's nuclear capabilities, estimated to include 170 to 180 warheads, as of recent assessments, and India's arsenal of approximately 160 warheads, the potential for escalation in a conflict could have catastrophic consequences for densely populated regions like Delhi, Mumbai and Amritsar, etc. A nuclear detonation, depending on its size measured in kilotons or megatons, would have catastrophic effects. These include immediate physical impact. Blast radius: a 100-kiloton bomb could level everything within a 1.6-kilometer radius and severely damage up to 4 to 5 kilometers. Thermal radiation: skin burns and fires up to several kilometers away. Electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, disables electronic and communication systems over a large area. Shockwave causes widespread destruction to infrastructure and buildings. Human casualties include immediate fatalities due to the explosion, burns and building collapse. Radiation sickness in survivors is caused by initial and residual radiation. There are long-term cancer and genetic effects in exposed populations. Psychological trauma and disruption of community structure are also significant consequences. Environmental consequences include fallout, which consists of radioactive particles contaminating water, soil, and crops. Climatic disruption, often referred to as nuclear winter, results from large-scale exchanges blocking sunlight. India has limited but evolving measures for nuclear civilian protection: early warning and civil defense, ballistic missile defense or BMD. India is developing systems like PAD and AAD to intercept incoming missiles, missile detection and alerts. India's Defense Research and Development Organization, or DRDO, and military maintain missile defense systems like the Prithvi Air Defense, or PAD, and Advanced Air Defense, or AAD. Civilians should be integrated into these systems through real-time alerts via mobile apps, TV and radio, collaboration with private telecom providers to ensure rapid dissemination of warnings, sirens and alerts. Some urban centers have warning systems for impending threats, public drills and guidelines already undertaken in potentially vulnerable target places. Shelters and evacuation plans: nuclear shelters, sparse and mostly limited to military or government facilities. Evacuation protocols, prepared in theory but challenging to execute rapidly in dense urban areas. Critical infrastructure: hardening protect power grids, water treatment plants and communication networks from EMP effects by installing surge protectors and redundant systems. Specialist facilities for radiation treatment are available in major hospitals. Rapid response teams are trained in CBRN scenarios, which include chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear threats. Additionally, stockpiling anti-radiation pills, like potassium iodide, is crucial. Preemptive measures aim to reduce the likelihood of a nuclear attack and prepare civilians for a worst-case scenario. Early warning systems, including missile detection and alerts, are maintained by India's Defence Research and Development Organisation and the military. Systems like the Prithvi Air Defence and Advanced Air Defence are in place. Civilians should be integrated into these systems through real-time alerts are crucial and can be provided via mobile apps, TV and radio. Collaboration with private telecom providers ensures the rapid dissemination of warnings. Community sirens should be installed and maintained in both urban and rural areas, especially in border states, with regular testing to ensure functionality. Governments should also maintain and distribute emergency stockpiles of food, water, medical supplies and potassium iodide tablets to protect against thyroid cancer from radioactive iodine in accessible locations. If a nuclear detonation occurs, immediate and long-term protective actions are critical to minimize casualties and ensure survival. First, seek shelter immediately. The best option is to get inside a sturdy building, preferably a basement or an interior room without windows, to shield from the blast and radiation. Metro stations in cities like Delhi are viable options. If you are outdoors, lie flat in a ditch or depression to avoid the shockwave and thermal flash. Cover exposed skin to reduce burns. Time, distance, and shielding are key. Minimize exposure to radiation by staying sheltered for at least 24 to 48 hours, as radiation levels drop significantly after the initial blast. Stay as far as possible from the detonation site and fallout zones. Use dense materials like concrete, brick, or earth to block radiation. And avoid looking at the fireball, as it can cause blindness. For post-detonation survival, fallout protection is crucial. Stay indoors and remain in a shelter for at least 48 hours or until authorities declare it safe. Seal windows and doors with duct tape to prevent radioactive dust from entering. If exposed to fallout, remove outer clothing, shower thoroughly, and avoid touching contaminated surfaces. Potassium iodide. Take potassium iodide tablets as directed to protect the thyroid, especially for children and pregnant women. Food and water safety. Consume only stored food and water to avoid contamination. Avoid local produce or open water sources until tested for radiation. Use water purification tablets or boil water if bottled supplies are unavailable. Medical care. Treat burns and injuries with first aid kits. Seek medical help for symptoms of radiation sickness, such as nausea, vomiting, and weakness. Governments should pre-position mobile medical units with radiation treatment capabilities, like bone marrow stimulants and anti-radiation drugs. Personal emergency kits. Every household should maintain a nuclear preparedness kit, including non-perishable food and water for at least 14 days, with 1 gallon per person per day. Also include a first aid kit with bandages, antiseptics, and potassium iodide tablets. Flashlights, batteries, and a battery-powered radio for updates. Duct tape, plastic sheeting, and masks to seal shelters and filter air. Personal documents like ID and medical records should be kept in a waterproof container. Home preparedness. Identify the safest area in your home, such as a basement or interior room, and reinforce it with heavy furniture or sandbags. Store emergency supplies in an accessible location. Learn basic first aid and radiation safety through online courses or community workshops. While the prospect of a nuclear conflict between India and Pakistan is a worst-case scenario, proactive measures can significantly reduce its impact on civilians. Take care during these hard times, follow the protocols, and act as a nationalist Indian.